Hello and welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. Happy Wednesday. We are here with you despite the weather, because of the weather. Whether the weather is or not, the point is, it's colder than hell out there. It's bad. It's real bad. I'm.
Mhm.
It happens every year. I should be used to it by now. I choose to continue to live. I left and I came back and I choose to be here. I should have no right to complain about it, but that doesn't stop me. I'm just done with the cold.
I mean, it got all the way up to 12 today after being like negative 12 or something or
It
close to
did.
it.
It did indeed. It did indeed. It made it almost halfway back toward the freezing point from the wrong side. It's rough, but it happens. Anyway, hi. How are you? How's Fuzzy been?
My back hurts. It's one solid block of
Angry
mess right
pain
now.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good. I'm sorry to hear that. I'd ask if there's anything I can do to help, but I know my hands are kind of tied for a lot of this. Has the weather okay? Stupid question time. Has the weather been helping or hurting in that sense specifically? Because sometimes
Neither.
cold and inflammation, I don't know if it would or not. But
No, I don't even know if it's inflammation because I've been cycling through the different medications. Like, okay, maybe I'll try ibuprofen, see if it's an No. Some of them take the pain off a little bit, but the underlying muscle problem is still there.
none of them
Some
really.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you. I get you. Dino says hello to everyone at home. Hi, buddy.
It hurts less when I sit because when you're sitting on your spine. You're not
Yeah.
holding your core upright with your muscles,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest problem.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, no, it sounds like it's just been a lot of a lot, and I can imagine you
Yeah.
are absolutely wiped out and whipped from it. And goodness, I hope we can help figure out something for you because that's absolutely no fun whatsoever. But
And everybody's like, "Oh, night shift." I'm like, "No, I would do this job.
yeah,
It's not the night shift. It's actually more convenient at night because I can like stop for a minute. I can use I got one of those
yikes!
massager
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were.
things.
Don't worry about it. You're fine. He's fine. We're fine. He can come hang out.
But
Everybody likes to see him.
uh yeah, no, it's not a night shift thing. That wouldn't help. It's not a sleeping thing. I don't know if I pulled something. Okay, it is not a hernia because it goes away. And it
Okay.
is a very specific localized thing. A hernia would be in a different place.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that, but like this is very specifically, and I can do stretches. Stretches don't make hernias go away. It's
Yeah.
not a slip disc because if I just go lay down and get off of using that muscle,
It.
it goes away.
Yeah.
A pinch disc would continue to do that
Yeah. It would
in different
stay in
positions.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Heat helps, massaging works. It is in every way, it is a muscle problem. I pulled a muscle in my back, specifically my left side erector spinae, one of your core, how you stand up straight muscles.
Ooh, that's rough.
And it is at the beginning of the day, it hurts down at the base, and the tension moves its way up until it's a knot at the top of it, and it sucks. There's just no.
Boo.
I had 3 days off in a row and it was glorious, and I felt better. And then as soon as I stood up to go to work on Monday,
Your
I
spine
was
shifted
like,
back into work position, and you're like, oh, goodness.
yeah. As soon as I was up and moving around for an hour or two, like getting ready and laundry and making food and stuff, it was just like, oh, you're still hurt. No, no. And I just doped up the best I could and avoided bending too much and stuff like that. And
Which is
yeah,
tough to do with what you do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although, they're claiming at least that they're going to get you that spring load cart for the soup.
Speaking of which, it is,
Time to take your wedpum.
yes,
Wet
it is
wet
Wednesday
wet
morning.
am. Do am.
Yes.
I don't remember. We were talking about pill containers the other day and how they're mislabeled for people who work the night shift.
Everybody's like, oh, I just go based on, what day it starts. So like today is Wednesday. Just take the Wednesday morning. It's like, yes, but at the same time,
Yeah. It does not line up right.
yeah.
And no amount of logicking makes it feel any better. Get down, get down. They all want to come play today. But no. I will say, for whatever it may be worth, that I have greatly, greatly appreciated all the pictures of the weird stuff you find there when you're stalking. I love that. I love that. It's like the highlight of my evening. I see the coolest stuff, and half the time I'm like, who wants that? And the other half I'm like, I want that. Those are the only two categories it falls in. Yeah, I never see a picture of something from you where it's like, oh, I could see that, I guess. Not my scene, but whatever. It's either why or please.
It gets even weirder when I'm in sections I'm not normally in.
Yeah,
And I'm like, because people will come up to me and they ask me like where stuff is at. And I don't know. I'm like, I'm sorry. I work over there in soup. I don't know where anything like
yeah,
it's either I'm not in the middle of the store, but I'm effectively in the middle. It's like, okay, if it's more groceries, it is somewhere east of here.
yeah.
If it is paper or dog or other weird stuff, it is west of here. That's it. I don't know where it's at.
If you want to know where the
It,
Pop
it,
Tarts and the soup are, I can point you to each and every one of them, but
yes. It, half of my aisle is just soups and ramens and stuff, right? And we don't have crackers there. Crackers are over in the chip aisle.
yeah, I noticed that. By the cookies, too, I'll bet.
Yes.
Crackers are just savory cookies. Cookies are just sweet crackers?
Yeah.
I don't know which
Okay.
direction that should go.
Okay. You grew up in the Midwest.
I did.
You've eaten an Oreo.
I have.
How do you eat? What do you eat an Oreo with?
Hands. Hands.
Okay. What else? What usually accompanies Oreos?
A glass of milk.
Okay. So logically, you're going to take the chocolate cookie and you're going to dunk it in milk, and a little bit of the chocolate rubs off, and you get chocolate-ish milk, right? A little
Right.
bit of it. If you're having a bowl of chocolate cereal, like generic malto meal
Yeah.
and brand cocoa
Yeah.
flakes, because I don't know why all cereals just aren't in bags. It's the superior way.
They are. Just some of them put the bags in boxes and they don't make them reclosable.
Technology exists. Um, I had made myself a bowl of cereal, and I got some Oreos, and I poured myself a glass of milk. for the Oreos. And as I did, I'm like,
Wait a
why can't I
minute.
just skip? Why can't I just dunk that in here? And so I did. And then it occurred to me, why am I even bother dunking it? Why don't I just take the Oreos, put them at the bottom of the bowl, put the cereal on top?
You're
They
one
just
step away from why don't I just break up the Oreos into the bowl in lieu of cereal at this point?
well, they actually make Oreo cereal
And
too.
they do.
But it's like you're eating a salad and you put croutons in it for like little, spotted chunks of crunch.
Yeah.
And as I'm eating my Cocoa Pebbles, I randomly scoop up an Oreo for that little bite of crunch.
You know, as much as it pains me to say it, you're really onto something with that.
And they were double dark chocolate Oreos. They were chocolate
Oh, man.
frosting with chocolate.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are the best. Those are absolutely the best.
And then I put Cocoa Pebbles on that. I've just been in a chocolatey mood, so also they were on
Man,
sale. So I'm like, okay,
yeah. I'm into it. I am so into it.
that's one of the few advantages of working Wednesday nights is all the sales start on Thursday. So the sticker crew is there changing all the tags.
Oh
So if there's anything I
yeah.
need to get, if there's anything I need to pick up, I'll buy it at the start of my shift. And then halfway through the night, they're done doing all the stickers, and I'll go around, I'll see, and I'll look at the call sheet and see what is going off sale and what is going on sale, and then I'll buy it when I get off of my shift.
Nice. Nice.
So I basically get first tips on a lot of stuff.
Diablo 4, you say? I should stream some video games soon. Actually, I need to stream video games soon. I need to play practice games tomorrow because I have a race date on Saturday to play SMZ3 with Liminality Carb at 3 p.m. I'll put a reminder in the Discord, etc., etc. I need to practice because I am way out of shape. I have not even run it in months at this point. So I'm already conceding. It's going to be an absolutely embarrassing loss. I would just prefer not to take up all of Saturday night and also Sunday for him. Especially because we have the Super Metroid Zelda Link to the Past randomizer combo thing.
Oh.
SMZ3R.
Oh, okay. I need to get. I bought a heating pad because I realized I didn't have any.
Yeah.
They went away. And so I
Yeah.
bought a little heating pad on Amazon, little 2 foot by 1 foot, which is perfect for small areas you need to thermally treat.
I get you.
There we are. But there's no good way to hold it to my side and back. So I want to get like a big Velcro strap or like a belt or something. Or
Yeah.
I was thinking like a big ace bandage, but that probably wouldn't work.
No, but the belt from a robe would, or a robe over it and just belt it underneath the robe. Like use the robe belt to secure it in place within. See, now you're thinking. Now I hear the gears turning from over here.
I need like a vest.
Yeah. There has to be a way. This has to be something we can do.
I need like a terry cloth vest, and you put the hook side of the Velcro on the heating pad so you can just position it anywhere inside of the vest. Like wherever you need it. Like if I need it in the back or up or around the side, you just stick it arbitrarily to wherever you need it.
Yeah.
And then you can just like cinch the. Oh, hear those gears. How do you do the shared chat? Do you know?
Are you streaming?
Yes.
Then I will hit start sharing chat and both of our chats will be connected.
Hey!
I think the host has to start it, but now we have shared combined chat.
Ah.
Hot diggity.
BJ said something in my chat. That's why.
Ah. Yeah, we missed you on Monday, man. We went out for sushi. Mr. Webb went with us.
I miss sushi. Why are the nights that's twice now you've gone out to sushi when I wasn't there.
Okay, to, like to be fair, to be fair, this one was actually suggested by Mr. Webb. So,
Yeah.
but we did discover that that place that we go that we thought was closed on Mondays is not, and then we thought it was closed
Oh.
on Tuesdays, and they're not. They just don't. They're open every day now.
Because they realize they don't hate money.
I guess. I don't know. But any case, yes, we absolutely should go out there. Like, even if we don't do a Monday night thing, like, you and I should go out there and get sushi.
I always forget that so my store that shall remain nameless used to sell sushi.
Yeah.
They have like the quick to go, hot to go section, subs and just grab and go stuff. And they used to have no, they also have a hot to go section. And they renamed it recently.
Hot to go.
They renamed it recently.
Why?
And mysteriously under a rebranding thing, they removed it because you want to know why?
Yes,
Because
I
people
want to
were
know
posting
why.
People were standing in the store doing selfies and TikTok dances and shit.
Okay, but they're in the store.
No, they were like standing in front of the counter where you couldn't get to the stuff, blocking people to like film videos, not just like take a picture and you're done. They were like doing a whole skit 3 or 4 times.
Okay, but like they should lean into that and then be like, "Hey, special discount, post our whatever." You know, you wanna film your video here? Get $1 off a rotisserie chicken while you're already standing here. I don't know.
Anyway, they used to sell sushi. It was outside vendor. They'd bring it, and they stopped at some point. I think somebody got like sick from it, and they investigated, and they just didn't bring back that vendor. The other grocery store, known in the Midwest,
Yeah,
with an M,
yeah.
does sell sushi. They have a whole sushi counter. Not just they have it in a cooler. Like there's a whole sushi counter, and on Wednesdays, it's discounted. It's not
Ooh.
half off, but it's a couple bucks off because it's
Yeah.
like one of the days where they like they can pre-make it, but like it can't sit there for so many days. And like, well, we'll take $4 instead of 8 because 4 is still more than 0 before we throw it away.
Yeah.
And I always forget about that. And also, we've been doing this for basically a year, so I
Yeah.
never go get food on Wednesdays because we're doing this.
And Aunt BJ, see, I have a sinister plan here. If we, Fuzzy and I, go out to sushi without you, and you feel left out, I'll have to make it up to you. So I will take you out for sushi without Fuzzy, who will then be offended and upset. So I'll have to make it up to him. And you see how this works, right?
Ironically enough, I did have rice on Monday.
Ooh.
It was cold, and I wanted a big old bowl of rice and beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
Sometimes
keep
you
your
just
engine going.
just a big bowl of white rice and a can of black beans and just a dash of pepper and salt on top, and it's good and it's filling, and it's my go-to comfort food.
I feel it. So hey, let's talk about Let's Cafe for a minute.
Yeah.
What's with everybody playing it? I'm not complaining, but like there's been a huge burst of people checking it out, and word of mouth is spreading from a couple people.
It's word of mouth, and I've been tracing back conversations,
Yeah.
and it's just word of mouth from friend to friend to friend. Somebody saw it at Winter Zeldathon, and
Oh,
somebody there saw it and thought it was cute and was playing it, and then their friend picked it up, and I lost one of the chains, but there was another chain that led to some of the people we were watching last night and the night before.
Yeah.
Because the chick last night with the cat knows Seraphin's. Seraphin's knew somebody else, knew Fish.
Yeah.
And Fish knows Zelda. Picked it up through Zelda. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that it's one thing in the old days where when I get a game and I play it and it's solo before streaming, and
Right.
I tell you about it, and it's word of mouth. It's the influencer effect. It's I have a platform. My connection is not one to one and
It's
one to one and
yeah.
one to one. It is simultaneous. As soon as I say that, it is a one to many relation, and it's kind of like spam marketing or just sending out flyers in the mail. Is you only need a small percentage of those to hook, and then now they're going to do it, and they're going to do it again, and chances are streamers watch other streamers.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is
unless
true.
unless you are a chronically online person, like think of Jiggy. He streams a lot, but he still watches other streams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if he sees somebody else doing something, he may take it back to his stream and now that broadcasts it again.
Yeah.
And it's just there's something not virulent, but there's just something about it's the influencer effect. It is entirely why, boots on the ground, grass, like you pay a streamer to play it, you don't run an ad. No matter how targeting your ad is, chances are if you if you get it in front of a streamer and they get in front of their audience, if their audience likes that type of game, you know,
Very much.
the entire reason I knew about A Little to the Left was I saw somebody else playing it that was like on the week, like during the week they play like actually they play Destiny and Diablo. They play a lot of like adventure hacky shooty type games,
Yeah.
but on the weekends they relax and they play cozy games and they just happen to be playing that.
Nice.
And it's like, oh, now a whole nother set of people that would not get exposed to that got exposed to that.
I want to see something. Do. Is that better? I think that's better. I don't know if that's better or not.
Better, but a little dark, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
There's 5 settings and there's no just right here. And I actually got myself a new light, but I have to figure out how and where to set it up so I can adjust it right. And the other thing is, it's not just monitor differences. What I'm seeing in my stream together window and what I'm seeing come out of OBS and what I'm seeing on stream, none of them look the same, and it's not just monitor miscalibration.
Something we may want to do is build you a reflector box.
Yeah.
Even if it's just two pieces, honestly, we can build it out of cardboard, just two pieces of a right angle, and you reflect the light against one, it'll reflect and soften the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's not directly ray casting onto you,
Yeah, that's
and
going to
it'll
make
illuminate
a
everything.
big difference. It is.
And if we do that, then you can kill your overhead.
Yeah.
Because your lighting in that room is very weird because that one light bulb you have faces that black wall which absorbs all the stuff.
Yeah.
So you're backlit
Yeah.
and that front lit and you're trying to blast. Yeah.
It's not great, but it's also one of those I'll solve it when I get there kind of things.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't bother me a lot. But I digress. But anyway, yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
Years ago, that's why I put those shelves up, is not to put stuff on it, is I painted the underside of it white. I got shelf mounts. I got one of those curly fancy ones because I knew if I ran a tube through it, I could run a LED strip inside of it, and it's close enough to the top. I painted the underside of the shelf white, and so the LED strip goes up and uses the entire shelf as a reflector.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. So back to Cafe.
That's all just that.
Back to Cafe.
Yes.
We have the chat stuff more or less working. There are a couple little weird details, yes. And I know the bot hasn't been working in everyone's chat, yes. But the orders have been working for almost everyone if you do things in the right order, and we need to put stuff in to make sure you do. But, like, we've seen it work on a bunch of streams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And crowd control just works.
Well, just because we didn't write it. Har.
Except we had to make the connection. Remember, we had problems getting the connector working at first.
I'm saying the back end part. We didn't write that. That's why it just works.
Yeah, you're not wrong. you're not wrong. But
Yeah.
I feel like
This
those
is
have
how
made a
you
big
learn, though.
difference too.
Yeah.
That's been really, really helpful. And
I
having
think
done that,
something that would fix some of the woes, and well, in addition to fixing the bugs, is having a way to kick it, or hey, disconnect and reconnect.
yeah,
You can't change your key, it's already set up, but just you know, but
yep,
have a button while you're playing in the game so you don't have to lose your day to disconnect and reconnect, kick it to try to get it to reconnect and rejoin. And
yeah, just poke the connection, make sure it's still alive.
yeah,
I
if we
like
have
that
that
idea.
in game, while you're playing, I think that'll fix a lot of those issues. Is especially if it loses connection or something crashes and it's just well, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah,
And it's, and even if they can't, even if they do go to the menu, there's still nothing they can do.
right, right.
They hit disconnect and reconnect and maybe it works, but there's no feedback. Having a
Yeah,
status indicator that hey, we got a message back. It didn't, with 404, give them a red light hey, something went wrong. Hey, it connected, green, thumbs up, something.
yeah. No, I get you. I get you. Yeah, I have
But
ideas. I have ideas.
but I think that's the last bit
Yeah.
before we could. I mean, there's, like I said before, there's stuff we want to add. I'm trying to get the recipe stuff working and I keep hitting problems with it. I don't know if we're going to do it.
If you need extra eyes, you'll have to remind me the branch name, but I'll come look at it and see what I can come up with.
I think I took it down because I realized what I was doing was wrong
Yeah.
and I needed to redo it. But I think if I just outlay my idea in detail and I may be able to hand it off to you or something,
Absolutely.
or Jacob gets bored.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he is kind of champing at the bit here, so it would not be a bad idea to give him a direction and a little pat on the back and be like, all right, have at it.
Have him go work on that tower defense.
He has been. He has been.
Or,
I'm interested to see that one, especially after
yeah,
his description. But
minor
yeah,
leak. We're working on tower defense, sort
yeah,
of.
yeah. We're
But
working
that's
on
what every
many
student.
things.
Yeah.
We're back at the point where Cafe, we're still fixing things and adding things, but it's in I don't want to say maintenance mode, but we've hit cruising altitude with it.
It's in the shakedown test.
Yeah, yeah,
That this is what early access was meant for, is this part here where it's not quite done, but we need people vigorously beating on it.
yes,
But every streamer I've talked to, they're yeah, it all works. The integration stuff's janky, but yeah, because that's an add-on and it's not required for
yeah,
gameplay.
yeah,
It is no part. It is entirely just audience participation. You can play it offline. It's not even a streamer game. We stuck that on as an afterthought.
yeah. And it's been getting a lot of positive reception, and that's just such a good feeling. It really is. But we'll keep at it. We'll keep at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this goes.
Yep.
But yeah, fun things coming there. Fun things coming there. We got our list. We've got stuff in the works, in the pipeline. We've got a new beta build going out today. I'm going to do that after show tonight. I'm going to put the new beta build up, and I'm going to put an announcement in the Hergel Discord in the secret beta channel, which you can opt into. By the way, if you're following that stuff, make sure you're in the Hergel Discord. Make sure you're in the beta channel so you can see all the new stuff before everyone else. Blanket permission, by the way, because I've had everyone ask me. I'm like, hey, do you want access to the beta build to see the new stuff? And everyone immediately says yes, and immediately follows it up with, can I stream this? And I say, yes, just tell people it's the beta build. It's not like a big secret. It's a let me steal some programming terminology here. It's not a private beta, but it's not a public beta. It's a protected beta. You have to choose your way into it.
Yeah.
There's one small obstacle in the way to show that you actually want to do it, and that small obstacle involves it coming to our attention that you're doing this, but we're not trying to hide anything away. We're just saying, hey, yeah, I'll just say,
Yeah.
again.
You're living on the edge.
Yes.
It's not quite a canary, but it's coming very soon. Is this
Yeah.
the decoration one or the bug fix one?
See, that's the thing, and that's in that pull request that I put out last night, where I accidentally merged the decoration one too early into main, so I had to wrap a feature flag around it. So to that end, this is the bug fix one, but I'm not. I don't. I don't know. It is at least the bug fix one. The bug fix one and the decoration one may go in a feature branch.
I think the bug fix one needs to go out.
Yeah.
Just period.
Absolutely.
And then decor can be on beta or something. I don't know. I think we need to get a way for people to opt into the decoration one to play with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And build some hype, beat on it, and also build some hype. And if it breaks, they can just go back in there and change it back to
Yeah.
main. But yeah, get the bot fix stuff. Just push it out.
Yeah, I think that is what I will do tonight. Then I'm going to do a little bit of testing here locally, and then maybe even play some on stream. Who knows? And then when I am satisfied that everything is working with the chat integration and all of that, I will push the update out as a minor public update and put a notification alongside it indicating, hey, we went in and fixed a whole bunch of this stuff. You'll still have to do X, Y, and Z, but if you do those things, it'll work. And I think as part of that, per your suggestion there, I think I will take the time tonight to add a way to just kick the connection from in-game.
Yeah.
I'll add that before it rolls out and test it.
Even if it ignoring the status indicator, just a simple click button and
refresh Twitch chat connection. Yes.
Yeah. That's honestly how I've seen other games.
It's yeah.
Have I was watching Max, Gassy Mexican, and when Kebab Simulator came out, right? It was right at the vanguard edge of when all those simulator games got real popular. All the clones just started coming out. So he was playing that, and it had a Twitch chat integration. It's similar. You could order, and your name would appear as a random NPC, but it'd be named after your Twitch chat name, and you would appear in the shop. And it was janky, like kind of ours is. You had to go get a code and put it in because it's the only good way to give an auth code thing.
We'll come back to this, but yes.
But it would disconnect, and the only way to fix it was to end your day, go back to the menu and do it from the menu and disconnect and then reconnect, and then it would be fine for a while until it would lose connection somehow, and it just and eventually they made it better. They're like, okay, the key doesn't change. You can just, refresh connection or something. They added it. Probably because they were watching him. Because he's like, can I just have a button to just turn it off and back on right here when I know it's obviously broken?
Yeah.
And yeah.
This is one of those things where I know I've made the comment in passing rather foolishly before where I'm like, we should switch to TypeScript. And I know rebuilding the whole thing in TypeScript would be an absolute nightmare. It would.
No, it wouldn't.
You don't
No, it
think
wouldn't.
so?
No,
This is one of those
I could.
things where
I could do that.
I
The
think it
game is
would
already
be.
written. I know what it's supposed to do.
I think it would not be a bad investment because it allows for easier restructuring of certain things that we'll need as we go along. Like a
No, it
lot of
doesn't.
people here have seen. Okay, with the way I design things,
Yes, but although same everything you just said applies if it's in pure JavaScript too.
yeah,
The only thing, the biggest advantage of doing it in TypeScript is if you have lots of disparate parts coming from other places.
fair.
And it's a strongly enforced agreement on data coming in and data going out, and it's the same way APIs used to, where it's like, look, this is going to either give you a string or a false, nothing else.
Yeah,
We guarantee it will be one of these. You can check for false. If it's not, you can be assured it's a string. You don't have to do all this. That's all TypeScript is. It's just enforced agreement.
yeah. No, I get that. I get that.
But it compiled, and it, because all it's doing is making JavaScript. It doesn't. It's just
Right, it transpiles it to plain old JavaScript.
if we were pulling in, some big corporate library or something. Okay, the biggest example of this is Facebook. Like the the top, or like the sidebar or something. The sidebar is run by a completely different team than the team that does the news feed.
Yeah.
And the news feed and all that, the main like page layout people, they're just saying, pulling this in, like, okay, our agreement is this, it will give you this back in this structure, these data is available. But it's just APIs within like your own company, basically.
Yeah.
That's the biggest advantage of TypeScript. It's the type checking. It's not anything else.
Right.
Some of it's a little bit easier. If what you're thinking is it's easier to refactor because of like code completion stuff, JSDoc exists. VS Code natively reads that, and guess what? You can run TypeScript natively in Node now as of the new version last month.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing is now you're hitting on something that where I feel like it would help. I'm going to wax a little bit technical here. Sorry for everybody who is not into that stuff. But the way we work behind the scenes with Twitch chat is we have a gigantic, I don't know, is it an array or is it an object? I don't remember. That
It's
stores
JavaScript, so yes.
that stores all the information for each streamer in some
Yeah.
form. I don't remember if those are arrays or objects. TypeScript would force me to think about that up front. And yes, I know nothing is stopping me from thinking about that up front and documenting it properly,
Mm-hmm.
but TypeScript forces me to. I have to define a type and say, this is the information that is in a channel entry, a streamer entry, whatever. And then all channels is an array of streamer entries. I like JavaScript because it lets me go fast at the risk of not having to think. And I like strict typing in general because it forces me to think at the cost of being able to move as fast. They both absolutely have very strong benefits. TypeScript is kind of a best of both worlds because you can write JavaScript in TypeScript, and if you turn the strictness down, that's the thing because it's all transpiled. But it's one of those where if I am making changes to this thing, okay, I need to make sure I absolutely have this documented properly internally, and or if I had done it in TypeScript, it would force me to plan this out ahead of time and adapt as necessary, but make sure I don't miss anything where I change something. This no longer works because the typing is wrong. But anyway, that's where all that comes from, because I made some interesting decisions about the timing of your connection. Okay, here's another interesting thing about the game itself that from the technical back end side of things explains why some of this happens. You make your connection to Twitch from the title screen.
Okay.
That's how it works right now. All perfect, all well and good, right? Yeah, that's amazing. Except the connection expects at some point to know the name of the cafe that you are in so we can show it on the web page and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that from the title screen.
Right.
So when you load a game or start a new game, we have to send that information along, assuming there's a valid connection. Which is what we're doing now.
So it creates the connection to Twitch, and so because their key knows
Their key knows their Twitch username, yes.
knows their Twitch name,
Yeah.
and that's when the bot should join.
That's when the bot does join. No. That's not when the bot joins. I'm not sure if that's when the bot joins or not. But
See, that would be something else nice is when they, as soon as they hit, they paste in their key, they hit connect. When that bot joins their chat, it should like, hey, I'm here reporting for my shift.
Yeah.
And say something so they know it worked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think
If it doesn't, they know, oh, hey, because that would also fix some of the moderator problems.
Right.
For anybody watching, there's a problem right now where in some people's channels, for lots of various reasons, people have different security permissions on channels. Like you have to have either registered a confirmed email or phone number, or you have to be not a new account, or you have to be subscribed to so many people. Like there's a lot of like to make sure you're not just a bot that was created 15 seconds ago.
Right.
The Let's Cafe bot, the username sometimes gets caught in those moderation settings, and some people, I'm not saying who, it happens to a lot of people, they have those on for good reasons, but they also don't monitor that. They don't have the Twitch dashboard up with the activity feed or the auto mod queue thing where it's like suspicious user or hey, we're blocking somebody or something like that. They don't have that up. They just turned on all these settings because somebody told them, oh no, I had a spammer in my chat once, so I'm going to turn on all my settings to max and block all new people, and then wonder why nobody comes in their chat and talks. But you don't know it. It's hard for us to debug what your settings are,
right,
to know why isn't the bot working. It's like, I don't know. Is it being blocked? So we tell people like, hey, for why you're doing this, just make it a mod. Chances are mods go through those protections.
Okay, I do want to point something out. Twitch has a way of doing like verified bot status, which bypasses API limits. But that's the only thing it does. I have discovered that verified bot status only gets around the API limits.
Yes and no. There's settings in there to allow. There's settings in the dashboard somewhere to say like, allow these bots to bypass your chat settings, and you can explicitly list them because it was on. Okay, it used to be because a long time ago when I was setting up Nightbot, there was instructions there like go here and list Nightbot as one of your allowed bots.
I think they changed that because Streamer Song List Bot, which I used for doing requests on my stream, or I used to when I accepted requests. I mean, I guess I still do technically. Point is, Streamer Song List Bot stopped working for everyone a few months back. Like everyone, all at once. And I discovered that while I was watching Amaya do her thing. And the only workaround they found was mod Streamer Song List Bot in your chat. then it will be able to connect and work again.
Mm.
And a handful of the other bots have run into a similar issue. I don't know if it's a weird secondary auth thing, which is absolutely a possibility, but there's definitely hinkiness going on with what is considered a bot account.
Yeah.
And Streamer Song List Bot is just one of the biggest ones that, like, they said, we do not have a fix for this. It is out of our hands. It is on Twitch. Your only option is make the bot a mod.
Chat verification, verification exemptions, parentheses, will not be required to verify. You can turn it on optionally for subscribers, VIPs, and moderators.
Yeah.
And that's for the email and phone verification.
Yeah.
I have it on some chatters. First time chatters must have a verified email.
Yeah.
That's it. If you're still like the first time you're chatting, you have to have a verified email. If you can't be bothered to verify, go and click this button and click a link in your email.
And
Sorry.
I will say that the Let's Cafe bot is both email and phone verified. You know, I have done that step.
Email ver. Oh, you can set. You have to have to even follow. Oh, there's follower verification now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ew. Why would you potentially want that?
Safety, Iron Mouse.
I guess because if you have like names pop up when they follow,
And or if there's a paper trail and someone gets hinky or blah, blah, blah.
oh man, did I tell you about the Iron Mouse and the DMCA thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit. Okay, so when the DMCA, the Digital Copyright Millennium Act, is a bunch of bullshit. It's meant for, hey, we're Disney, you're streaming our stuff. Here's our enforcement to say stop doing that. The problem is anybody can submit a claim loosely because it's not verified at the start. Like there's no way to, like it's verified later, but if I say, "Oh, I'm the magical rights holder of Mickey Mouse. Please stop your streaming my stuff," and I send in a notice, and if I get a bunch of people to do that right away, Twitch tends to wait, was this on Twitch or YouTube?
It was
One of them.
Yeah.
They tend to panic and like, oh, something is going on, and they just shut it down.
Yeah. All at once.
Shut everything down, sort out the bodies later. The problem is as the receiver of one of those, you can say, no, I attest, here's my full legal information. I attest that no, I'm not doing that. Or, yeah, I'll pay you, see you in court, whatever. But to reply to one of those, even to deny a bogus one, you have to list your full legal name and address. Like you are legally signing that you attest legally that is a false claim.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Mouse is a VTuber and a very private person and unknown, basically an anonymous person, very famous anonymous person, and like got her accounts shut down because a bunch of DMCA claims all at once that she like, what do I do? And because it was on YouTube, that's what the bullshit is. When they take down your channel, they kill your entire YouTube account.
Right.
It is not, oh, I cannot post videos. They just like they basically soft delete your entire account and sort it out later. You can't even like log in to do stuff. It's just like your account has been forcibly deleted. You do not exist to us anymore. And it's like you have to reach out to like your partner manager thing and get it sorted. And then it's like it's such a bullshit just thing that you can just create a false claim, and they do it through fake names and proxies and stuff, so you can't ever find them. But it's like there are restrictions. It is technically against the law to make a false DMCA claim because you are attesting that under perjury that you are the copyright holder.
Yes.
So
It is
yeah.
a fundamentally flawed system and a very painful enforcement thereof. I got hit with
It's
a ton of those. Okay, the polyfi videos I've been doing, the lo-fi, the pendulum,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I buy rights to sample packs. I do. I do not make all of that music from scratch. You have seen that.
Right.
But I am
Yeah.
buying a non-exclusive license to use this in the creation of a final product.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who loop it 8 times and copyright that as a song.
Mm-hmm.
And on every single video I have produced, I have gotten from a different source a DMCA claim. And
Yeah.
I have
Wait,
gone in and
a
challenged.
DMCA or a copyright claim? Because those are different. You can get a copyright monetization claim that says, "Hey, you're using our stuff," and what they happens to that is you continue to make the money, but the money goes to someone else.
Those are still technically considered DMCA claims that you can challenge. It just means that they have marked that they're happy with this resolution up front.
Okay. Okay.
But I've been able to go in and challenge all of them. And out of the 7, 8 videos I've had, 6 of them, it was dismissed afterwards. But yes, it involves giving my full legal information.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you have to list in that response in your challenge is your reasoning. And my reasoning is I paid for this sample pack from the person I bought the sample pack from. This is the license I have. I have email receipt for it.
Yep.
And one of them, because the response goes back to the initiator of the original claim. And they have a chance to acknowledge your response to their claim and say, okay, yes, we withdraw our complaint, or to stand by it. If they stand by theirs, you have the option to file a second counter one, but that leads to the whole strike, the 3 strikes and you're out thing, if it does not go in your favor. And I'm not even big enough to actually be monetized myself. I lost that years ago. The point is that several times I've been able to offer my counterclaim successfully, and it has worked. And at least one time it did not, and I'm just leaving the video up and letting someone else get a fraction of a cent every time you watch the video. And I'm still going to keep making them the way I have been because I've been having fun with it. But it's a gross, messy process to have to go track all of that stuff. And a lot of the automated systems that exist for this are a larger part of a problem than a solution. That's really what it comes down to at the core. Is there are very few human beings involved in the process. And I don't like that. I'm not saying that there absolutely have to be more people. I'm just saying there has to be less automated decision.
Well, that's where the difference between the DMCA and just the copyright auto detection.
Yeah.
What was it? Content ID. That's
Yeah.
what it was. That's usually what hits you on Twitch and stuff. Our good friend Red Stephanie was playing on her Switch through the actual NES emulator Zelda 1 because she had never actually played it. She was playing it a lot. You go through the overworld in that game a lot. The overworld music plays a lot. It's a very recognizable thing. And she's streaming, so she's talking over it because she's on the voice phone with Bailiff or somebody. And so she's talking over the Zelda 1 track. Every single one of her VODs had multiple mute points to some DJ remix guy that sampled, probably illegally, the Zelda 1 overworld and was rapping over top of it. So the Content ID system picked up enough matching of voice in these frequencies over top of this Zelda track and was enough of a hash that matched to his song. And every single one of her VODs had multiple
Yep.
muted sections. She flipped out, thought it was DMCA. It was going to sue her. I'm like, no, just like, no, I'm using this. I'm just playing a goddamn video game. It's okay. But I had to watch her for every single one of those. She had to go and enter multiple times because you can't just save it once.
Yep.
She eventually, like, you can copy paste it, but she had to go through and say, no, I am allowed to use this. I am playing a game. Every single one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had it with Let's Cafe. The title screen music was getting picked up as some other random track is probably
No, they
either
were
a sample.
they were absolutely dissimilar, but the FFTs lined up.
Yeah.
That's what it was, because I went back and listened. We changed the title music in Let's Cafe to avoid accidentally matching something any longer.
Yep.
That sickens me.
By the way, speaking of not to my partner in crime over here, but to our resident audio artist, we need more music.
Oh, yeah,
One of the biggest complaints I've heard is this music's great, but it gets a little repetitive.
Yes.
Like,
no,
we need multiple tracks and just cycle through them.
I am acutely aware, and that is also in active development. It is.
When do we get also unlockable decor audio?
I hadn't considered that yet. I'm trying to decide how I want to handle that, but I'd given thought to something like that. I don't want to just rip off Animal Crossing wholesale, but like, what if KK Slider?
No.
Not,
no, don't anger Big Red.
No, but I mean, conceptually, in the fact of here is a time-based event in game that allows more music.
What if it's one of the things that gets added when you complete a sticker?
Yeah, you unlock that NPC's track. And in the pause menu, you can set your jukebox music. It picks one by default at the start of each day based on currently the weather and the number of the day, more or less. Yeah. But you can switch your music to one of the NPC tracks, too.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll keep playing with it, yeah.
The reason I bring up the decor is I was thinking if we have a way to detect once you have bought all the matching theme set stuff, and once you've bought all the parts, you unlock special background music for it.
Yeah, let me think on that. That's a good one to chew on. All right, it's about time for us to take a real quick 5-minute break here. Freshen up your drink. Make sure you stretch, all of that, whatnot. We're going to take a few, run an ad, and we will catch you back here in about 5. See you shortly. Hello and welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. We are back bulling with you. Hope you enjoyed your break. Goodness knows I did. It was fantastic. I got up, went to the bathroom, microwaved a sandwich, which I'm just going to completely ignore for the next hour. It'll still be... No, it won't. It won't be warm at all by the time I get back to it. I'm going to have to go heat it up again, but I'm going to do that. I took... Go on.
See, I did it in the right order. I microwaved the food before the show and let it cool down, and I ate it on the break.
That's a smart move. That's what I should have done. I had every intention of making an actual dinner after the show, and I probably still will, but I had to have something now, and I went and made it, and now I'm not going to eat it. I had to have something that wasn't peanut butter crackers, because that's all I've eaten today.
Lances?
Yes.
Should I send you pictures of those? I'm occasionally over there and I see them on sale.
When you see them on sale, let me know, but I'm pretty familiar with the varieties. I have tried the Nicot wafers, and they're not bad, but they're too sweet. I usually get either the toasty or the malt crackers. The whole wheat ones are actually good. I just don't get them often enough. And the cheese ones are not bad, but they're kind of a take it or leave it for me. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have leftover roast beef sandwiches because my dear, sweet, wonderful, amazing, kind, thoughtful, generous, loving roommate works at Arby's, and occasionally she'll bring home extra roast beef sandwiches because I like just plain old roast beef sandwiches.
Oh, man. I haven't had a roast beef in...
Easily 2 hours now. Maybe even 6.
When
the last time we went out for the reserve roast beef?
Yeah, when we went to the restaurant that night.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time I had Arby's in
forever.
Yeah. Because there's not one out by me. That's the thing. Oh no, wait, no, there is. It's right by where I work.
You get blind to it because you're there all the time.
No, the problem is it's on a 5-lane road. Okay. 2 and 2 and 1 in the middle.
Yeah.
And I hate making a middle lane cross turn. So basically, if I can't make a right into your establishment, you don't exist to me.
Yeah.
But that Arby's is on the way away from home, where I'm usually going somewhere, and I hate making the left out of there to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cross 2, and it's just far enough from either light that there's a long enough wave of either people from the light or then people from the light or the people light. So there's never like a good break in the traffic.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's like, I won't go there unless I'm going somewhere else. If I'm going somewhere else, I won't.
City Skylines is not wrong, man. Roundabouts absolutely solve a whole lot of problems, assuming people use them properly. And that's a big assumption.
They put in a roundabout near me. It's right on the edge of another city. And it's perfect because the intersection was a fairly busy horizontal section and a road that is actually 45 miles per hour. And it's a major artery, like between up and down vertically around here.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stoplight. It wasn't even a stoplight. That was the thing, is it was a goddamn 4-way stop sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know it. You know the area.
And they put in that roundabout, and it's great. I will sometimes go out of my way a much longer route to just go up and through that roundabout to go somewhere because it's easier than like making a bunch of awkward turns.
Yeah.
There's a T intersection near me that to get onto that road, and if I have to make a right, it's fine. I'm going north. I'm going southbound to make that unguarded left onto that road is annoying because there's a constant flood of traffic going north on that busy artery, and there's a constant flow going the other way. So I will go north probably 3 minutes down the road to go to the roundabout to go south.
Yeah.
I want more. Then they put in a double a peanut roundabout somewhere else because they were merging two streets that did not line up. And it was like one of those like zigzag things, and so they made that a peanut one, and it fixed all the traffic. But like people are like, oh, I don't know roundabouts. Like, no, yep, yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You know the peanut. Yep.
Yeah, JC's out
And
in
it
this
was
area
like,
too.
yep. And when people think of roundabouts, they think of the horror stories of the double or triple layered roundabouts from the UK. Like, oh, you get in, you can't get out. There's multiple. Like, no. This is just right turn only in a circle. That's it.
Yeah.
If you need to make a left, no, you make three. You skip three.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't stop. You just flow of traffic. That's it. There's a horrible intersection near the school that's technically at the T of a road to a little suburb area, but also it's the double entrance for all the morning traffic trying to get in there. But they literally have to have a cop out there every morning directing traffic to get the flows in and in and in and in and through there. And also the people trying to get out across that traffic is the thing.
Yep.
Is they can't make, and I'm like, one big ass, like, eminent domain, those houses on the corner, make it one big ass roundabout, and then it's all fixed. Everybody comes in, everybody goes out. Just it would fix it entirely.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-lane road. There's no room to put a big enough turning radius there.
Oh man, it would absolutely fix so much, and they are safer because you do have to go into them consciously and cognizantly. Assuming people do, and that's a big assumption to make. I have opinions on people in general, but
it also doesn't help the roads out here are just very badly laid out because it was never, this area was never supposed to exist.
Yeah.
It's, like it used to be like you'd hit city limits and then you'd eventually hit like farmland or swampland or just like it's owned by somebody, but it's not really developed. Well, the problem is it was like that on both sides, and they both encroached in and became a city.
Yeah.
So it's like roads that's supposed to be cornfield going through cornfield, and it was fine. And then they started putting houses, and it's like, oh, now you have to deal with people trying to back into their driveways or slow down to make a right turn into somebody's driveway, but they're not sure exactly which house it is. So they slow down and then they pass it. It's like,
Buzzy, I have a problem. I have too many T-shirts. I have many problems. I have many problems, and they're all I have too many. I have too much. That's why I titled today's stream Too Many, Too Much. I wanted to talk about this. I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, but that's because I am in denial. But the point is, I have too much stuff. And specifically, I noticed this because I have too many T-shirts. I have a habit of buying T-shirts to support events and friends that do things, and also anything that's got Garfield or Zelda on it because I'm like that. I have 64 T-shirts in my closet. Okay, that's not true. I have 60 T-shirts in my closet and a couple in the laundry basket. I own a total of 64 T-shirts. That's 2 entire months without having to wash T-shirts.
I had this problem before. I used to subscribe to Loot Box.
Yeah.
Loot Crate. And they gave you a T-shirt every month that I could not wear because they only went up to 3X.
Yeah.
So I kept them, maybe assuming I'd go down in size, but it's like, look, even if I lose a bunch of weight, I'm not going to get smaller. Yeah. My torso is not going to shrink. My shoulders are not going to, like, I will become less person in this axis, but I won't become less person in the other axis.
Yeah.
I eventually gave them, I went through them, I saved a couple. I gave what was effectively a bolt of cloth, a probably 40-some shirts to Jeff.
Yeah.
I just walked up and said, here, you're this size. And I gave him a good 40 pounds of just cloth. And he's still wearing them to this day. What you need is some shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. 100%.
And I would make them. I just don't have my saws or anything set up. But I looked at that. I'm like, oh, if we just bought the wood, I could sit down and cut a couple dozen of those and nail them together and make dozens and dozens of those for a tenth of the price.
I have the same problem Insure has too, in that I have a whole bunch of unframed art that I really want to frame and hang up, except framing is prohibitively expensive.
No, framing, getting a framing service to do it. You don't realize how cheap framing actually is because you've only looked at price to frame at like Michael's.
Well, no, I mean, I've looked at supplies as well, but I don't have a lot of the tools to do them in certain sizes, and they don't make like
Yeah.
dollar store frames in certain sizes. Although I do need to get dollar store frames for everything that is a standard size and just put it up on the damn wall already.
Yeah.
But that
Or like
costs dollars.
those Topetico prints that I
Yeah,
didn't realize for years. I had like, what size is this? And like, oh, it's like not quite this, and it's not quite that. No, it's a fucking A4 standard fucking European size of print. I don't need an 11 by 14 American. I need an A4 frame. Oh,
yeah,
look, it's exactly down to the millimeter that size because that's what it's fucking for.
yeah, yeah. No, exactly.
They need to just put that like, hey, this is going to look like a weird size. Go find an A4 frame online. It'll be the right size. You won't need matting or anything.
Yeah,
Don't list it as a 11 by 17, 11 by 14 or something, but they sell 11 by 17 American frames is the thing. And that's why you're like, why are these prints a weird size? No, 11 by 17 is a perfectly normal horizontal US size of picture frame.
tabloid. 11 by 17 is known as tabloid, just like 8.5 by 11 is letter.
Yeah.
And 8.5 by 14 is legal. And US has all these funky paper sizes. But yeah. Sarge says hello to all of you as well. She wants a bite of my sandwich. Anyway, I was thinking about this and I want to pitch you an idea. Do you want to build a really dumb web app for me?
Sure.
How about we let chat decide? Not right now, of course, but like as I'm streaming randomly, we'll do like pop-up voting and do like a runoff tournament. Help me figure out which half of my shirts to get rid of. I'll get pictures and we'll just do like one will pop up and you have a minute in chat to vote. You cast your vote and it keeps track of which one, and then we'll do like a double elimination tournament of all my shirts.
Twitch enabled, bracket as a service.
Yes, let's do that. And let's
Dangle
use
it
this
in
as our
front of
test.
Clinkit.
Oh,
Dangle it in front of Clinkit.
100%. 100%. She would license the hell out of it. She might resell it through Overproduced.
Well, it's like, no, I'm just saying, even
Yeah.
like for Zeldathon, like pick your favorite version of Link. We'll run it here, and it just, you fire it off, you pre-fill it, and it will
Yeah.
create the polls automatically, and then write them to an image, and that you can just put as a stream element thing, and shows like current one, and it updates the image and just does it. You know.
Yeah, let's write bracket as a service, and let's use the T-shirts to test it. Help me sort through my wardrobe, because I own 5 pairs of pants in total. I own 3 pairs of jeans, 2 blue and 1 gray. I own my brown work pants I picked up at the thrift store, and I own my purple scrub pants because they're the only pants I could find in that shade of purple, and that's all the pants I wear. I don't have 7 full days worth of pants, and I have 2 full months worth of T-shirts.
How many of those are jeans versus pants?
3 jeans, 2 pants.
Because you can definitely wear jeans for more than one day.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't sleep in them. Just take them off, let them sit out overnight, and you're fine.
I get that, but still, like the amount of disparity is what's throwing me a little.
Oh yeah, I was the same way. Like, I was totally the same way. I need to go, if I ever get any goddamn money, I need to go buy pants. I lost a lot of weight recently. Like, I was already starting to lose weight.
Welcome. Fancy meeting you
Hey,
here. Aren't you streaming? Are you back yet?
always streaming.
We were just talking about writing stuff that probably already exists. We want to do like a tournament bracket as a service for Twitch. Well, I hope you enjoy your reset break. Oh, yuck. Ooh, yeah. Friends here, Allie is one of the people we picked up on playing Let's Cafe, and I've been hanging out since then, too. Enjoying productivity stream during the day and all of that. Thank you. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We have half the Let's Cafe dev team here. You get to see us embarrass ourselves.
Probably one of the other two floating around here too, secretly, probably.
Oh yeah, yeah. And JC Switchman in chat is one of our dedicated testers and team members as well. But yeah, 64 shirts, Fuzzy. 64. That's like 2 to the 8th. That's way too many shirts. And this is the thing is if they were just accumulating, that would be one thing, okay? Like if they were randomly showing up and they weren't things I had opted to get specifically because they were what they were. You know,
Yeah.
The loot crate, I understand. Shirts showed up every month, and you're like, oh, I guess that's kind of neat, and then it goes in the closet. No, these are, I get suckered in by the Yeti marketing emails, and I work with a bunch of people that host charity events, and every time they have one, there's a damn shirt for it. So I've got the Winter Masquerade shirt.
Even before Loot Crate, Woot.
Yeah.
Buying the Woot shirts.
Yeah.
We bought dozens of those.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I want to do. Okay. I didn't even think about this. I just cut up a dozen shirts to get squares to make a quilt, and that's just the stuff from the day job, because I do the tech outreach stuff, so we have like all the classes we teach and the hackathons and all of that. All of those shirts I just cut up, that's another 12, 14, 16 shirts that I'm not even counting in that 64. Because they're no longer shirts, but that was my start.
If you're going to do... Okay, so it depends if they're two-sided shirts or not. If it's just like a lot of the Loot Crate, like it's just one print on one side, it's a lot easier to do because you can tuck it and you cut the excess and you box frame it and you're done.
Yeah.
If they're double-sided ones, if you want to save the two, you kind of need to like spatchcock it and weird frame. It works.
Right.
And or you buy the double-sided ones that you just flip over once in a while. But what you could do is if it's the single-sided print, you could do the shirt style box within a box, stretch it over it. But to save bunching up, cut the back out, and that's what you use for your quilt squares.
Yeah.
Because how much surface area on the back? That's just cloth that's going to go to waste. You know.
Anyway, yeah, let's make a bracket to get rid of my shirts because I have too many of them. I've only been joking about this forever. We are going to accidentally, become a competitor to Tangia and Stream Elements because we're going to keep writing these individual stream tools and we're going to bundle them up and, pay your $5 a decade for access to Hergel stream tools. Get our TTS, get our bracket tool, get our... have your fish tank, your stream avatars, your lurk bait.
Can't you sell stuff through Stream Elements?
Yeah, but it has to fit in with their API, and it's hinky, and it's. I don't see advantages to using their platform for that currently.
Bandwidth, pricing.
Yeah.
Write it once, put it on there, never have to touch it, really?
Yeah. If I were a smarter man, I would go that way. But what can I say? This came up in conversation in Allie's chat earlier. I enjoy reinventing wheels. I'm looking at a productivity stream earlier, and it's got like the to-do list and the project list and the timer and all of that. And I'm like, I want that, but not someone else's. I want my own. I'm going to make my own from scratch. I'm hand carve it out of wood. That's how you make code, isn't it? But you and I have run into that same problem where we'll look at something and be like, that's almost perfect. And that almost makes us write our own. I don't even know what I want it to do yet. I want to start using one to see what I need and put in those specific things.
I have a project I want to write,
Okay.
but I know it's dumb and it should not exist, but I want it and it's very specific requirements. I want what is effectively Trello,
Yeah.
okay? But a lot more pared down. And I know, like, the biggest reason I know the back end part of it. I could probably figure out the front end. Drag and drop's gotten a lot easier. What I want is a tracker for dailies
Yeah.
in various games. But I just want to be able to, like, did I do this yet today, or did I do this weekly, but there's like weeklies that are like, okay, every week at 4 a.m. that's when the clock resets.
Right.
And then there's dailies that reset every day at 11 a.m. Okay, so you can't just go by the day. So there has to be an event like, when do you reset these weeklies versus these ones? And then there's dailies for the grand companies that reset at like 4 p.m. or something. It is 4 p.m. because it's the other 12 hour from whenever the weeklies reset.
Yeah.
But so the grand companies reset every day at 4 p.m. And then there's also ones that like are weekly, but they only go live on Friday through Sunday. So it's like, did I do this week? When is this week? Like, 14 is this weird period where there's a brief period between like 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. where it is simultaneously the next day, but also last week.
Yep.
Or no, the other way around. It is the next week, but it is still the previous day. So you can wait till the week resets, but it's still Monday. So you do your dailies and it counts for Monday, but you get the credit into this week's pool. And then 10 a.m. happens and you can do Tuesday's daily and it goes into this week's pool, but it's Tuesday. So you can get twice as ahead.
Buzzy out here min-maxing his dailies across all his games. That's nothing new. I know that's how it works, but
you can only get 450 tokens per week. If you double dip on Tuesday morning like that, you can get them all done by Wednesday afternoon, and then not have to play the game for a week.
Look, when we added price changing to Let's Cafe, you immediately started min-maxing that. I put it in and forgot it existed. I put it in just because I assumed it's a feature you should have, but nobody does it unless you have to. But you come charging in to make sure people know. And I appreciate it about you, but it's very defining of you as a person.
Look, if the game's going to let people buy it with no detriment up to 2.5 times the price, I'm going to go find that mark and set it $1 below that and make people pay the maximum amount of money.
Number go up.
I set 100%. All the prices up and jack them down until people start buying it and leave them there. And then I just bring them down like, that's it. And I just like, can I raise it $2 more? Okay, people, they stop buying. Okay, there's the mark.
You know, okay, we wrote the game, we know how it works from the inside, but from the player side of things, when you don't have active access to the information in the back, you know what you could do? No, because we don't show, we're not showing if, okay, never mind.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out how you could one at a time turn an item on, raise it to the maximum price, but we don't show when it's over the maximum price.
Right.
Because we wouldn't show the no items for sale if it is just an item that's too much.
There is a ticket I filed like last year as an idea.
Yeah.
That we just never got around to doing. That if all your recipes are overpriced, so that's why nobody's coming in because you have nothing that they want to buy.
Yeah.
Mayor Chicken will come and say, hey, look, your prices are exorbitant and nobody wants to buy here. Just to let you know, everything you have for sale is overpriced.
Yeah.
And we just never added that because...
Yet. yet. We
Because
reserve
coding
the
the
right
NPCs,
to.
no, it was because at the time coding the NPC dialogues was a pain in the ass,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so we just like didn't want to do it. It was before you had the new NPC text editor.
Yeah. Which I still need to get finished, but that is a huge help. I do need to finish up like our internal side of that and polish it a little because someday it will be the external side of that. I love you. You have
Mm-hmm.
get down, sweetheart. Come here. Come here. Sarge says hello. Oh man. I tell you. This is difficult. Writing video games is hard enough. Writing video games for other people is way harder.
So speaking of games, what do you call a game where you're not actually playing it?
You got to come a little more specific than that.
Okay, specifically, I'm talking about the card game War. There's nothing, you are just performing mechanical operations. There is no game.
It's kind of like clock solitaire. It is a set of
Yeah.
steps. It is a ritual you do, but the outcome is determined beforehand. You can evaluate it mathematically. You are just going through the motions. There's no
Right.
choice point.
Right.
I don't know that there's a name for that.
I've heard it. I've been looking into this. So I've been learning Python. Thank you, Future Scott. And there's always a set of games when learning languages, when learning anything. It's easier if you know what you're supposed to be doing. If you're trying to create something new at the same time you don't know your media, you're fighting two different fronts and you're going
Right.
to get frustrated.
Right.
I don't know what I want to make and I don't know what I'm doing. You know, which is why, like, in art, classically, you paint a bowl of fruit. You know what it's supposed to look like. It's not, I'm going to come up with a creation out of my head while I'm playing with clay for the first time.
Yeah.
I have paint. I'm learning to paint. I'm not learning fruit.
Right.
You know, if you already are a master of paint, you can paint something new because you're not learning paint. You're learning
You
I
have
think
the
it's Michelangelo.
technique in the toolbox down already.
Right. So card games in general were always a good example way to learn classes in programming because it's the first easy encapsulation of 2 bits of data, a thing you can do to it, and you can
Yeah.
expand it from like, okay, I have a card, it has a suit and a rank. I can compare it to another card. Is it bigger? Is it smaller? Is it better? Blah blah blah. I can have a deck, and then shuffling, and then it builds on a whole lot of things you can do with that. And one of the easiest things to program, because you don't need a UI for it, is the card game War. Deal 2 cards, is one bigger than the other. You're ignoring the suit. You are only comparing the number part of it. You could just reasonably get away with just having 36 slips, 52 slips of paper with numbers on them.
Yeah.
They do this in prison. But you're not actually doing it. It is entirely determined by the initial shuffle. The thing I've heard this referred to as an automata, as in like auto mechanical.
Yeah.
Candyland is the same way. There's no spinner. It's a dice deck. You just draw it, and that is where you move. All you are doing, it's a game to teach the physical movement of moving from place to place to place, and to count. It's not how hard. There's no variability in the spin. The game is entirely predetermined.
Right.
Similar to it, but not entirely, is also Chutes and Ladders.
Yes.
But there is some variability because of the spinner. There is a human introduced random effect to that. Otherwise, you could I know I'm going to win. You could just instantly calculate it.
Right.
Versus I have to iterate through it. But War is great for that because it builds on so many things. But how many games out there have some sort of initial random seed that can be manipulated, and if you know all the steps after are deterministic and there is no human input, you could just instantly calculate it.
Yeah. And
Like,
like you said with Chutes and Ladders, it is specifically on the implementation in the sense that if you use a spinner that you are not allowed to spin until your move, it's not deterministic. If you use a
right.
dice deck or you know up front what the spins are going to be, if you have a list of
Mhm.
all spins, if they're generated from a seed, the game's deterministic at that point.
I saw Hasbro came out with a line of basically neutered versions of board games that were for kids. It was Shoots and Ladders, but instead of being like 10 by 10, it was like
Yeah,
6 by 6. It was a smaller board, and it had a colored dice deck like Candyland. They
yeah,
basically Candyland a bunch of board games, but it was for like playing it so it didn't take forever, you know.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, if you could analyze that deck, you could immediately know I will, you know, I will get, you know, you could know who went. Like there is, you are just performing the operations.
yeah.
While I was writing, um, I was playing around with Python and I was writing War. I realized you very quickly could get into. There's a lot of random deals that you get into a perfect infinite loop, and the game never ends because it is just stack based cycling.
Yeah, yeah,
And all I had to do was when you when you win, when you put the cards into your thing, shuffle it.
yep,
If anytime there was a mat, like I just had to. I made a draw pile and a discard pile, and as you won stuff, your discard pile got bigger. When you ran out of cards, shuffle that and put it back in your draw pile.
yeah,
So every time it instantly solved it because it was always shuffled through every time. So every cycle was a different, like, even if you reseeded the same game, like the initial deal, it was,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, War is apparently the perfect, almost entirely the perfect starter. I want to learn a programming language thing to do because everybody knows how a deck of playing cards works. And everybody has probably played, well, probably not. Anybody our age or older that has lived before computers has gotten bored and played with a deck of cards.
Yeah.
It's why you remember this because you grew up when Windows 95 was new. Why did they put why did they put solitaire on computers, Jason?
To teach you how to drag and double click. To
Why
teach
did
you
they
to use
put
mouse.
why did they put Minesweeper on computers, Jason?
To show you that right clicking had a different action. There's
And
two
middle
buttons and
clicking
they do
too.
different things. Yeah, if you have a middle button. Everyone's got a middle button now because it's the scroll wheel, because everyone has a scroll wheel now. That used to not be a thing. We're
Yeah.
old. That used to not be a thing.
Well, computers used to come with the 3-button Microsoft mouse.
Fair.
For a
Fair.
for a long time, 3-button mice was pretty standard on like pre-built computers, big box computers at least. But these things existed, and that's how people learn. This
That's true. Max had the button.
I cannot get over that touch mouse.
Mm.
Optically, the sensor is amazing. It moves around like a motherfucker. I cannot stand a touch-based mouse.
Yeah.
It is just, I'm like, how do I scroll? And they just drug their hand over top. I'm like, no, no, no.
Terrifying. Terrifying. Um, yeah. No, man. But yeah, all of that stuff was included with a, I don't want to say secondary intention, but there were multiple intentions. One is entertainment, yes, but the other is here is a functional way to get you used to using a computer in a way that was not the standard at the time or was becoming the standard.
Ski Free was the same way.
Yeah.
It was to get people used to moving a mouse cursor and precision movement back and forth. Because back in the day, people were like, move wildly too much because they had no hand-eye coordination.
There wasn't the mapping between the screen and the hand yet. Yeah.
Right. And having to slalom between the thing got people the muscle memory to see a thing and moving cursor with the mouse. And that's why it was that. Yeah, all those original Windows Entertainment Pack games existed to teach you how to use the mouse.
Yep. Yep.
And
And
Spider Solitaire was for double clicking, wasn't it?
yeah, because you could double click
Yeah.
to shift cards up.
Yeah.
And it lets you get in the rhythm. For a lot of us now, it is absolutely ingrained. It's reflex. We know how to do it, but it requires a certain amount of timing, and that's something that had not been set out at the beginning. Is what is the timing to constitute a double click? What is the difference between clicking twice and a double click? It's in the timing, how close together they are, and how separated they are from other clicks.
There's a setting that was in one of the Ring 1 beta builds for Windows for a while that I don't know if it actually made it out, but they were talking about in one of the podcasts of, since they're putting AI and Windows Copilot in, a bunch of bullshit like that, to having a setting and potentially making the default to have it learn your double click rate, because you can adjust the time between, like, if you have mobility, like, you double click slower because you're a boomer, or like, you've got those insane, Gen Quantum Z Alpha, micromillisecond things.
10,000 APS, yeah.
Yeah. But if you click too fast, it doesn't occur. Some mouse settings, if you click too fast, it doesn't count as a double click because it's debounce protection to make sure the
Yeah.
switch isn't like throwing an electrical signal. But like, no, I can click that fast. So they have to turn it down. So they were talking about adding a setting in Windows where it would learn, like, hey, go double click on this. Okay, double click on this one. And it takes the average and adjusts your slider to meet you.
I have weird opinions on that, man.
But if they made it silent and they made it passively, and it just like it was a initial training thing.
Yes, if people were mechanical. That's the thing, is how, like, my speed may change over time for a variety of reasons. Like, I woke up at 4 in the morning and stumbled over to my computer because I'm, just couldn't sleep, but I'm not functional yet. If it suddenly isn't working from my perception, even though nothing has changed from my perception,
It wouldn't be any different than if it was just on one setting forever. They're just saying, like, when you go, it's going to be within a range still, but how is it any different than right now? Your thing doesn't adjust. You wake up and your slug is like, oh, I didn't click it fast enough because it's my arm did not click it fast enough.
I think the thing is, like, as long as I can still go in and manually adjust it. Don't hide that or take that away from me.
But natively adapt to it. The voice assistants do the same thing. They have like, hey, read this off, and so we learn your accent or how loud you talk and adjust for it. If you ever move a voice assistant device, either the Amazon or the Google ones, if you move it to another room or even within the same room, like you move it from one corner over here to, we put it on a bookshelf over there, go through the setup process again. When you first set them up, they do a noise canceling echo routine thing to know, oh, I'm going to be this far away from it, or I have this much reverb coming from the back. I'm going to turn those down so I'm not getting weird echo things. If you move it against a different solid object, retrain it. Go reboot it, reset it, reinitialize it, or whatever. Or just do the initial voice training thing.
Yeah.
We moved an echo off of the fireplace to over on the side because it was picking up the TV too hard, and it was breaking because now it was near a corner, so there's two walls reflecting. And I was complaining about it. They're like, oh, did you move it from a place there was one wall to two walls? And I'm like, yes, do the retraining. It'll know to basically ignore the microphones on that side.
Yeah.
I'm kind of all for our future robot overlords if it makes my life easier.
I have deep, complex, mixed feelings on all of it, but in general, I get what you're saying. I see the utility. I don't want to get into this rant. I'll give the short version instead of getting into a whole rant. We've only got 10 minutes left anyway. There are a lot of things that are very helpful about it, and there are a lot of people who are using it in ways that are harmful to people, especially creative people. And that frustrates me to no end because there's so much value in it. There are times when I don't have $50 and a spare artist to pay just because I want to see what Muppet Nosferatu would look like.
Yeah.
But we have a policy that we don't use AI generated images or music in any of our end products because F that noise, I'd rather that go to a real creator doing something really creative. I don't want mechanically produced garbage in something we are making. Except for the code, which is somehow different in my head. I just said I wasn't going to get on this rant.
There was I browse a lot of Reddit. I, I'm one of those people, and there's a lot of people. I think it was on like mildly infuriating. They point out when very clearly bad AI art generation shows up and stuff, and one of them was at Target. I think it was Target. It was in like the pet department, like just some placard for like the pet department, and here is a generic dog and a generic cat, right? Just
Yeah.
not like an ad or anything, just like, look, we need a picture of a dog and a cat to put on this sign for the pet department. And they were debating if it was an AI picture or not. And you could kind of tell it was, or it could just be glammed up a couple filters. They grabbed some stock photo, and you could tell the cat and the dog, like they just like layered them and grabbed some stuff. Like, how is it any different than somebody taking just stock footage? Go grab a stock dog and a stock cat that somebody already took that picture, slapped them into Photoshop, put a gradient background in front of, maybe put a little fuzzing over just to kind of like deal with the image artifacting and stuff because it's not like an exact photograph, and then like shit it out to the art department.
I have
Some
an
intern could
answer
do
to that. And it goes
But
back to yeah.
The question is like, well, AI's, the power to generate those is ruining the environment. It's like, but it was already spent.
Yeah.
Like, yes, but also the scale of things, you are insignificant. Even that AI farm that's doing that is insignificant to the grand scale of shit that's going on wrong. I'm not saying everybody should do it, but how much power did it take that 1 second of AI to generate that image? And okay, we are going to ignore temporarily the ownership of the assets that it's pulling in for those.
Yeah,
Because it does
that
not
was where my complaint was going to go. So
yes, that's the problem. But if you could in theory say only go use these stock, only go use Getty images or something,
right, something
and
I
then
have a
whatever
license
images
to.
you,
Yeah,
or whatever you use, send me the links and I will buy the rights to use for you to remix it.
yeah,
Cite your sources so I can pay them. Well, okay, we'll gloss over that. But however much 1 second of processing time it took to generate that image versus an intern fucking around browsing pictures and cranking in Photoshop for an hour or two to do that. How much power did their computer use?
yeah.
It's like, I if it's internal crappy artwork like that, I don't have a problem with them using it, especially if hopefully, because it's going to go out to all their stores, they're going to have license to use those and not just, I took whatever random picture I found on the internet of a wolf howling at a moon and it's some artist thing and we didn't know. And, you know, how is it any, how is a company using an AI generated image any different than some intern just grabbing a random picture off of Google? I searched for a thing, I took the first image and I just saved it and used that image and did not license it.
Yeah.
if they're not going to pay the artist, they're also not going to pay the artist.
And this is
You know,
another
locks
one of
only keep
those
out.
where I know I've jumped up and down and yelled a lot about the power of words before and specific phrasing. If you are using an AI art generator, no, you're not. If you are
No,
using a generative
you're
image, whatever, that is
remix.
what you
Yeah,
are doing.
it's pulling from somewhere.
Yeah.
All stable diffusion and the other method, whichever.
They're both GANs. At the end of the day, they're both GANs.
No, that's the thing is they're not. One of them's a GAN and one of them's not. But it effectively does the same thing. But it knows things and it knows the clock face problem.
Yeah.
Because so it's really almost impossible to get a AI art generator to make a watch face that isn't at 10 after 10
Yeah.
or 10 after 2 or whatever, or 10 till
10 till 2, the
yeah,
hands in the show
yeah,
off position.
yeah, because when people make pictures of watches, it is aesthetically pleasing to put the hands up at 10 and 2.
Yeah.
And so that's what all the art it learns at, and it does not know the concept of time on a watch to make those. It is remixing stuff together. It is effectively a super fast intern using stock photos.
It's like the R's in strawberry problem for LLMs. They don't see the word strawberry. They see a set of tokens. They don't see a collection of letters.
Oh, the new one.
04?
What is the seventh letter of the alphabet?
G.
No,
Okay.
it's E.
Okay, yeah.
A L P
Yeah.
H
Yeah,
A
yeah,
B
yeah.
E.
Yeah. That one, I am much more forgiving of that one because people confusing phrasing, etc.
Right. But that's the thing is, if you know how to ask the questions,
Yeah.
it does not know what you're at. It is taking inputs. It does not know any semantic context to
Right.
what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. It's like working with. It's like working with a fleet of autistic people.
You're not wrong.
Go to the store, buy eggs. If they have 2, get a dozen, or whatever the
Yeah.
old meme joke is. That's what AI does. It's literally taking. I have the same thing at work.
Yeah.
My boss said, go straighten the cookie aisle. And I started doing it. It's like, you don't got to worry about those. Those are vendor stuff. I'm like,
That's
okay.
in the cookie
You
aisle,
said
though.
you said do the aisle. I was like, well, yeah, it's like, but this, like, but you didn't say don't do that. And you've never instructed me on this. I don't know what is stuff, what to do.
Yeah.
And then there's some of the vendor stuff we do because it's our vendors. And I'm supposed to know this. Like, I said, look, I'm autistic as fuck, dude. I'm really good at coping with it. But if you give me a new task that I've never done before, be specific. Give me extra information. I will eat that up and I will do exactly what you tell me. I am an asshole genie. I will do anything you want as long as you are very specific on what you tell me to do.
You're so not wrong that it hurts. I've only known you for 100 years now. You're so not wrong that hurts.
And he's like, oh, okay, I can work with that. And now he gives me very explicitly worded instructions.
That's one of those where you always tell me or ask me, where is this written down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's also just part of built into my document.
Yes, but what I'm trying to apply this to work in the sense that this is information they should have documented somewhere. You should be able to find out that information.
I am doing training at work right now because the big number on the calendar changed, so it's a different year. So I have to do all the training for my job again, even though I just did it a month ago.
Yeah.
I started at the end of November, right before Thanksgiving, and it took me a couple weeks to do it because there's a lot of material. So for about a month through December, I was doing all these training videos. Then the date changed. So I've got to do all those same training. It's like, yeah, but you only got to do it yearly. I'm like, I just did it less than a month ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to do it again. And I'm like, it hasn't changed. You want to know how bad some of it hasn't changed? There's still pictures in some of the video and slide decks that have copyright 2013 on them.
Yeah.
Because they have not changed the interface on where the stuff is. Additionally, none of that applies to my job. I watch training videos on food safety labels and the cold chain and hot temperature food, keeping stuff too hot in the danger zone and all that. None of which matters to grocery stockers. You know what's not in any of the training? Anything in my actual duties.
Yep.
I pointed this out to my boss and like, nothing on that computer that I've spent hours and hours doing is actually for my job, and nothing in my job is actually on there. I cannot go back and reference anything you told me briefly in 5 minutes as we were walking through the store 2.5 months ago.
Yeah.
I cannot go refresh any information you've told me how to do something. You're entirely banking on my ability to remember that when I joined, when I was being rush trained the week of Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Exactly. No. And I imagine it's even worse in the pharmacy, because there's so much of that has to be like, you're required by law to have had this training, but none of it applies to you. But there's important stuff you got to know that's not written down anywhere.
Yeah.
On top of all the other training you had to go through to even get into a pharmacy position for anything.
I started calling my boss out. He's like, well, here's the way I like to do it. I'm like, no, what's the actual way we're supposed to do it? Yeah. I will do it your way because you're the one grading me on it effectively. But I want to know what's the actual corporate way we're supposed to be doing this. Because push comes to shove. If somebody's like, you're not doing it the right way, I have no idea what the right way is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I call him out on his bullshit when he does stuff a certain way. It's like, oh, just do it this way. I'm like, but we're not supposed to, right? And he's like, yeah, we're not supposed to. As long as you know you're doing it against the book because you've been doing it for 25 years. You've forgotten the book exists. I just had to review it twice in the last 90 days. I want you to know you're doing it wrong and you're teaching people wrong.
Yeah, it's the same one, by the way. It is. It is that company. It is. No, she worked at a pharmacy for your grocery store.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Oh, look, I like the people I work for, sort of. I don't know how that company is still in business as a whole. There's a lot of... Every store has got... We do sit kind of shadily, and I get that. But there's corporate level things that I'm like, do you realize how dumb you're being? Yeah. Like, y'all dumb. Like, on a macro scale. Like, massively.
Yep.
We're fighting with inventory right now, post food holiday stuff. We're trying to get out of backlog hell, and it's just, I'm like, if we wouldn't do X, we wouldn't end up in this situation.
Yeah. Big truth. And
you told me to do X, and I keep doing X, and that's why we have this inventory problem.
Ain't that always the way?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're about at time. I'll probably stop and let us get out and do whatever else we're going to do. I am going to do my best to practice for the race tomorrow night. So feel free to come back tomorrow after 5 p.m. Eastern at some point. I'll throw something in the Discord, and I'll do a practice run of SMZ3. Because I do have a race on Saturday if everything goes according to plan, which it should, unless I catch on fire. Make sure you're in the Discord. What's the command for that? ! Discord? Here we go. I'll put that in chat. Oh, wait. I accidentally put the merch one. Go get your Mayor Chicken shirt. Did you get your Mayor Chicken shirt yet? Little Miss in chat that I sent you. I hope it is as amazing as it looks in all the pictures I've seen.
Holy crap.
Oh, holy crap.
I hadn't actually seen the new site.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Tantrum stream the other day. And they were talking about, and I never occurred to me to actually go look at it.
Oh, it's
Oh,
gorgeous now. Isn't it nice?
This is kind of nice. Yeah.
It's really nice. Yeah. I'm so happy with their rebranding. I'm so happy with the little bumper video I did. Did you see the little bumper where like the logo rolled in and bounced off the wall and then rolled back and the words revealed that they ran like during the breaks? I made that video. It's just like it's like a 5-second logo sting, but I made that for Alpha. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I love working with those guys. They're amazing. Anyway, no, for real. Come join. This is not the Hergel corporate one. Come join my Discord and watch all the goofy stuff I do. Fuzzy hangs out there too. Like I said, I'll be practicing for race tomorrow. I'm gonna try and do music on Friday because nothing weird's going on. Saturday I have the race. I might actually get to stream a bunch this week if I do it right, which means I will have limited time to work on other things now that we have to do all the cafe things at once because everyone's playing it. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm going to push the bug fix version out tonight. I'm saying it a third time to manifest it. I'm going to push the bug fix version out tonight, and I'm going to make an announcement with it. Before I do that, I'm going to verify the few things we want to do, including the reconnect button on the pause screen in-game, so you can make sure the bot is actively there and doing things, including an announcement to the chat from the bot to say, hey, I'm here and paying attention. That way you'll be able to verify as soon as you connect that the bot is there and actively listening and working. When I do that, I need to add some documentation around it. I got this. Okay. I have a plan. Let me just put it in my work tracking application I haven't written for myself yet. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go eat my sandwich. Who else is live? Who are we going to throw over to? Jiggy's not doing anything fun yet. GDQ, Josh, Carb, Ice. Who else is? Bill, Nimbly. 6. We're going to go raid. Yeah. We're going to go raid big friend of the show, big friend of the channel, 6 Alona, doing some artwork because she is just an absolutely amazing human being. How do I /raid 6 Alona? So please join us. Go send some love over to 6. Hey, I've even got a button here that gives my raid call. Y'all know me. I'm a ridiculous fan of the Wichita linemen. So go tell 6 that we're still on the line. Thank you so much for being here for the Blue House Bull session. We will catch you, if not before then, next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.